People think that being a star is about being fabulous, being in the spotlight, having your picture taken all the time and having everyone worship and adore you. Being rich, rich, rich. Having it all. And you know what? They're absolutely right.
Hello and welcome to How to Be an Icon. I'm Jared Jones and I'm joined as always by Donna Cameron.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. It's Easter weekend.
It's Easter weekend at the time of recording.
There are rabbits everywhere.
Yeah, when you hear this 4 weeks from now.
No, what? I was trying to say that to pressure you into being timely in the edit.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you're really like pushing it on me. It's not only is it Easter weekend though, it's another big thing.
What's the other big thing?
WrestleMania!
Woo!
I'm
very excited.
So excited for WrestleMania. And by so excited, I mean I'm mostly just like I'm looking forward to day drinking. You know, if I'm being honest, that's the thing. I wasn't gonna say.
I was like, I'm gonna be professional and be like, I'm looking forward to wings and sportsmanship, and you're like, I can't wait to crack a bevy at 1:30.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many excuses that I get to do that these days. So like, a WrestleMania is the main one.
And it's 2 days.
It's 2
because
days.
the mania goes over 48
Too
hours.
big for one night. Yeah, at the time of recording this, we don't know who's going to have won or lost. Cody Rhodes and John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. So exciting.
We're real in the depths of me having a crush on CM Punk.
Yeah, oh man, he's a dreamy man. He's a dreamy daddy looking man.
The way I have crushes on wrestlers really like comes and goes like the waves of the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
This week it's CM Punk.
I'm just really into the like salt and pepper.
I know it's a good look on his beard. It's the best he's ever looked. But hey, next week, you know, Roman Reigns was in Vanity Fair, and there were some photos of Roman Reigns.
We have been like, I'm going to use the word gushing because we
Yeah.
have been gushing
He's
over
such
those.
a handsome man.
Oh my god,
If
he's
anyone
so
doesn't-
well put together.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, look up Roman Reigns Vanity Fair. Don't read the article; it's not worth reading. But like but look at the photos of that charming man, and you go, "Oh, that's
He would bring you a coffee in bed and wish you a wonderful day.
he's a very, very swish man."
And you know he smells incredible.
Speaking of smelling incredible, we've got today's guest. We've got today's icon.
Oh, you stole my link. I was actually going to say exactly.
It's not Coco Chanel. And this woman actually has nothing to do with smelling good. But she's an entertainer nonetheless. It's Madonna.
I bet she smelled great.
I bet she does smell pretty good. Of all the celebrities I'd want to sniff, I think she's probably right up there, I'd say.
Email in with the celebrities you'd like to sniff. And we'll read them out eventually.
Yeah, we will. So, Madonna, this was my choice. You were originally going to do Madonna.
I was, and I
then-
let you do it because you're...
I know a bit more about Madonna, and I quite enjoy her music quite a lot, more so than I thought. I've gone back and I've listened to quite a lot of it, and it's like, man, she's really, really good. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Madonna? What are your like going into this? What do you think?
Love Madonna. My first exposure to Madonna was obviously Evita.
We will get to Evita.
We will, because, and I will put this out front, it is the film my mum puts on anytime she needs to clean or decorate the house. And now I have this mental link between Madonna in Evita and tidying up.
Yeah, with Antonio Banderas folding his arms and just being a bit miserable, just being
really,
a bit,
really disagreeing with her choices. But I love Madonna. Remember as a child trying to get on tape from the radio the James Bond theme she did.
Oh, yes.
And I will defend that song. And I know we'll get to this later.
We sure will.
But I am going to die on this hill. That song's great.
People have a lot of strong opinions on it. I don't know how people can say it's the worst, but we'll get into this. We have so much time to get into this. But first, before we start anything, Madonna, what's her favorite drink?
Now, my first instinct would be to say a champagne. However, we watched that documentary of hers and she only ate salad out of massive tubs.
Yes.
So I'm going to say her favorite beverage is a real crisp, sparkling water.
You would be incorrect.
Okay, go on.
I can't wait, by the way, because I've decided for our Christmas episode, we're going to go through and we're going to make some of the drinks of people's favorite drinks.
We're not drinking the Coco Chanel red wine.
We're not drinking the Coco Chanel red wine.
just-
But
because we don't want to be anti-Semitic.
but this one I'd be very excited to try. Her favorite drink is a pomegranate martini.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's fun.
That is very, very fun. So, jumping into it, Madonna. She was born Madonna Louise Cincone, or Sion, and she was born the 16th of August, 1953, in Bay City, Michigan, to parents, Madonna Louise, and Silvio Antonio, or Tony, Cincone. Her parents were first-generation immigrants, meaning that their grandparents were from.
Yes.
That was her father. Her mother was French-Canadian descent.
Ooh.
She was one of 7 children.
Wow, busy.
But not all from the same mother. Her mother passed away
okay.
from breast cancer when Madonna was just 5 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was brought up in a very, very Roman Catholic, deeply religious house.
That's so surprising, Jared. I do you know what? I don't even have it in me to be sarcastic.
Yeah.
Catholicism is just kind of
It
all
may-
over it.
It may play a bigger part later on down the line.
No.
She was quite a rebellious child.
Mhm.
She was considered a bit of a loner, though. She didn't really have that many friends. She did quite well academically.
Because Madonna's like very like intelligent.
She's quite an intelligent woman. And yeah, she had a very good grade point average, GPA or whatever it is that they say in America. I find it weird that a lot of like celebrities that you find in America, that when you look them up, it'll be like, oh yeah, they got this grade in high school. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like,
I was gonna say, like, imagine if you in the future you Google our names and our GCSE results
our
show up.
SATs results come up. I got a level 6 in science. Like,
And honestly, I'd be very proud because I got an A-star in BTEC Performing Arts, and I still put that on job applications. Like, that means anything as a 32-year-old.
After graduating in January 1976, she received a dance scholarship to the University of Michigan. Her father sent her to learn to play piano. However, she convinced him that she wanted to do ballet instead.
Oh, she's ballet trained.
She is ballet trained.
That
yeah.
explains a lot about everything she does going forward. Now you've said that, because I actually never knew that, and you go, oh, now I understand everything about her.
This is where she meets Christopher Flynn, who is her dance teacher, and he would convince her to go to New York because she said she had such huge potential.
Yeah.
She'd be absolutely wasted in Michigan. So in 1978, Madonna moves to New York after dropping out of university to begin her new life.
New York in the 70s.
Oh, man. So it's part of, you'll see a lot of like New York in the 70s where people really romanticize it, but also make it sound like the worst place in the world.
It is like, there was nowhere like it. It was the most amazing place on earth. There was a dead guy in the street.
Yeah.
In the same sentence.
Oh, there was a 14-year-old on heroin, but he was really good on the drums. So, like, yeah, what a time to be alive. Everything was rat infested. There was crime everywhere. There was nothing like it. You had to be there. It's beautiful. But then everyone...
New York City!
But then everyone who was there left as soon as they could.
As soon as they had enough money to go anywhere nicer and not full of garbage, they went.
They went.
Yeah.
But Madonna said of her move, it was the first time she'd ever been on a plane, the first time she'd ever gotten a taxi cab. She had $35 in her pocket, and it was the bravest thing she'd ever done, was to just move to New York, just completely on her own back.
$35 adjusted for inflation.
Great question. That's be about $136.
Wow, so that's not very much at all.
No, that's definitely not a lot. She continued attending ballet classes in New York at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. She said she didn't really get on with any of the dance girls there, though. She claimed that they were quite stuffy. They came from rich families.
Yes, if you were attending what sounds to be quite a prestigious ballet school, you're going to have some money behind you.
Yeah.
Because you're likely to be privately educated at this time as well.
Yeah. She did other odd jobs during this time, including some naked photography. Yes. Madonna started dating Dan Gilroy. They moved in together in an abandoned synagogue Again, going back to the point of people being like, man, wasn't New York great in the 70s? You could just move into an abandoned synagogue.
Yeah, and that was fine. You could just get a lease on that, I guess.
Or you just squat there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's just kind of how you do it.
And I bet it was so like tastefully
I bet.
like designed inside.
Madonna would live there, and she learned to play the drums and eventually became the drummer for the band The Breakfast Club, which Dan was involved in. She really wanted to be lead vocals and did sub in on occasion, but she mostly remained on the drums. And she got fed up and left the band because she was like, I want to be at the forefront. I don't want to be
Jokes on them. When you say The Breakfast Club, we all think of the 80s films. So
we sure do.
that's what you get. You could have had Madonna.
She then formed a new band with her old boyfriend from Michigan, Stephen Bray. They formed the band Emmy and the Emmys.
Go on, give me your best radio DJ introducing that band, please.
Brand new one here from Emmy and the Emmys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Gorgeous.
Thank
Love
you.
that. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. They were kind of a Blondie style group. She was the lead singer for it. They released 4 demo songs, but by 1981, she had left the band to promote herself as a solo artist. She was not here to be part of a group. She then signs with Camille Barbon, who ran Gotham Records in 1981. She performed at nightclubs, and they were still sort of pushing this sort of Blondie direction.
Yeah.
So you got to be thinking like in the late 70s, early 80s, every blonde female wants to be Blondie, and wants to sound like Blondie. So she's going for that kind of punky feeling. But Madonna is not really feeling it. She's kind of more into going to sort of the dance clubs. So she enlists DJ Mark Cammins to produce her first single, which is Everybody. And she goes behind the back of her record deal, of her manager, and signs with Seymour Sign, who is the president of Sign Records, which is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers Records. And they sign her without telling her current manager. They just go behind her back.
Oh, so that's kind of wild, like right out the bat to just go in for the shenanigans. Yeah,
I think it was just because, and she says it, that it was like, I don't want to be going in this direction. It's not the direction I want to go in. I'm looking for more of a dance pop kind of vibe.
Yeah, I want more out of this.
I want more out of this. Her manager attempts to sue, but cannot because she's going up against Warner Brothers. So she backs off, and she's very unhappy about the situation.
I imagine trying to sue Warner Brothers is difficult.
It's pretty tough.
I can't wait for us to try it.
No, you're on your own on that one.
Ooh, who do we want to not sue the most?
CM Punk. Speaking of WrestleMania, CM Punk is the man I don't want to sue.
No further notes, no comment. That's the perfect answer. I'll let you continue.
So she has her first single, Everybody. She's going around Warner. She's promoting her debut album. She's kind of unhappy with the way that it's going. She's wanting to sort of mix things up. So she worked with another producer, John Jellybean Benentez.
Jellybean?
He is the resident DJ at Funhouse.
Okay.
And her and John go on to create this little song called Holiday.
Oh, I think I know it.
Yes. The album was released in 1983, and it is a huge success.
Holiday's great. I listened to it earlier.
Yep. It's got the singles Holiday, Lucky Star, and Everybody on it.
Ooh.
We go then straight into 1984. She's on her second album, which, again, you may have heard of, Like a Virgin.
Again, listen to it earlier. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You also got Material Girl on this album as
Which
well.
I love.
And it also has Into the Groove on there. Another great single. She basically becomes an overnight sensation with these singles. She performs at the MTV Music Video Awards, where she's wearing the iconic wedding dress with the veil and the belt that says boy toy on it.
Yeah.
And it basically becomes the 80s fashion. Like, that look is kind of what defines
it really cements it in that moment. Like,
with her lace tops, her big overskirts, her capri pants, the fishnet stockings, the jewelry with a crucifix, the bleached blonde hair. It's like, that is the 80s essentially. And she was kind of
the crimp in it as well.
The crimp, all of that.
Oh, to be Madonna in the 80s. To be Madonna, but like...
To be Madonna anytime, but yeah, to be Madonna in the
Oh.
80s really is a
my
like...
God.
Like a Virgin became the first album by a female to sell over 5 million copies in the US.
Yes, Queen.
It was certified as diamond by the Recording Institute of Association of America and sold over 21 million copies.
Oh my God.
And this is the thing of like when I was saying this to you earlier about,
Yes.
you know, a lot of people have kind of said like, wow, this person has come up on the rise and they're like the biggest thing in music right now. You know, like last year we had Chapel Rowan.
Yeah.
And like, man, she's huge. She's massive. And it's like, yeah, she absolutely is. But it's nothing in comparison to this of like how quickly that she went from, she just moved to New York, like probably like 5 years before, to now she is the biggest selling artist.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane.
How quickly she got that. And how you made a really good point to me that it's like everyone in the world knew who Madonna was.
Yeah, everyone knew who Madonna was. They could tell you a song.
It's not the same as like we talk about, again, like we'll use Chapel Rowan as the example, but my parents don't know who she is.
No, exactly. And
whereas at the time, everyone, your mom, your dad, your granddad, like everyone around you knew who Madonna was.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just a whole other level of just like meteoric rise. And then like you even compare it to people who are as big in the time period. You've got someone like Michael Jackson, for example. Michael Jackson was kind of born into show business. He was, you know, not to be like that, but he was kind of bred to be the biggest star in the world. Like
there was certainly a very like calculated effort to push him into that direction.
He
Whereas Madonna
from,
just went, I'm doing it.
I'm here. I'm doing it. Yeah.
Because I was thinking as a comparison was Britney Spears in terms of like a female pop star. But again,
she was put in there, you know, she was part of the
like
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and all that. Like she was part of all of that. So, you know, you just don't see that kind of explosion, you know, like that. And again, like this is the other thing. In 1985, she gets 2 roles in movies. The first one is a cameo in the movie Vision Quest, 1985. The Karate Kid light movie about amateur wrestling and Native Americans. She plays a club singer where she sings Crazy For You, which is also a fantastic song.
Sorry, I love the way you described it. It's about Native Americans and wrestling.
Yeah, I mean...
And you go, I bet that is a mess to watch in 2025.
Yeah.
I reckon we watch that and go, oh...
Yeah, I've not watched all of the movies that are on this list. I've watched a couple of them.
We did not watch Vision Quest.
We did not watch Vision Quest. The other one is Desperately Seeking Susan, a movie I have seen. It's a kind of wacky screwball comedy type situation, but it also plays it very straight. Patricia Arquette plays a woman. She's just leads a really, really boring life.
Okay.
It's really, really boring. So she reads the personal ads in the newspaper, and she reads them so much that she finds out that Madonna's character, Susan, sends messages through the personal ads to her boyfriend about where they're going to meet up, and they always say like Desperately Seeking Susan, and that's when they go and meet. So she goes to the place, and she sees Madonna and everything. She's like, "Oh my god, it's Madonna!" But obviously, it's Susan.
Yeah,
she's like,
"Oh
my god!"
Really weird in the middle of this. So she's got, "Oh my god, pop sensation Madonna."
I mean, she is
Susan.
she is just basically Madonna, though. Like the character is just Madonna. You know, and then so again, this is all exactly what happens in the movie. Madonna goes and pawns this jacket that she's got, and Patricia Arquette's character's like, "Man, I want that jacket," so she buys it.
Okay.
Then she gets hit on the head, she gets amnesia, and then she thinks she's Susan.
No.
Yeah.
I want to watch that film.
I'm making it sound so much more interesting than it is. They play it quite straight and it's quite dry. Madonna is pretty good in it, and she got very good reviews for her performance.
That's a real like, we don't make them like that anymore.
No, we really
there's
don't.
No way that anyone is funding that script based on that description.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, she got praised for that film. It led her to star in other films going forward. She then marries a man called Sean Penn. Yeah, it is an
Pull out your alarms, everyone.
So
first one of the show.
I've not gone that deep into, because there's so much you can read about Sean Penn and Madonna's marriage. It's a bit icky, and I'm not gonna like kind of wade into that. It's like
I only know like the very loosest kind
Yeah.
of details of it, and
Yeah.
it's bad.
It's bad.
And
It's
we can
ba-
all agree that Sean Penn is a scumbag.
it's not great. But they get married pretty quick into it, and they have a secret wedding. It's not very secret. It is like there are helicopters flying all around while they are saying their
Yeah, I was going to
saying
say,
their
how
vows.
secret can two celebrities' weddings be? Because every time any celebrities try
Yeah.
to do this, we find out immediately.
Yeah, no, there were like TV cameras there. There was just helicopters flying around. Rumors are that Sean Penn fired a gun at one of the helicopters. So
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of fun to do on your wedding day. You're allowed to fire a gun at someone on your wedding day, right?
no comment on that one. I'm not gonna encourage such things.
And for legal purposes, that is a joke.
That's a joke,
I am
yeah.
joking because
Yeah.
we live in England and I've never seen a real gun.
1986, we got her third album, True Blue. It's banger after banger. We got Live to Tell. We got Papa Don't Preach. We got True Blood. We got Open Your Heart. We got La Isla La Bonita, you know? All of these.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm from the Certified Bangers Board. I'm here to accredit all of these actual bangers.
Oh, they are such bangers.
My-
All of them get to number one in the US or the UK, so it's absolutely huge.
Mhm.
The album is dedicated to Sean Penn. They then decided that, well, what if we made a movie together? And this is where it's a bit like, they stand together in the critically panned Shanghai Surprise 1986. The Indiana Jones-esque romp where Penn plays a down-on-his-luck drunken rogue adventurer and Madonna plays a missionary nurse as they go on a hunt for a missing shipment of opium, which Madonna's character wants to help her suffering patients.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not good.
I bet that's horrendous. Also, Shanghai Surprise is
It's not a great title.
It's a bad name. It sounds like a sexual act.
Shanghai Surprise. Madonna would win her first of 5 Golden Raspberry Awards for the Worst Actress. Look, I got a lot of feelings on the Golden Razzies. I think that they are a smug bunch of assholes who, you know, are just bad. Like, they're just bad people.
And we're going to go with official stance on the show. The Razzies suck.
The Razzies suck. Like, they're a terrible organization. It's not funny. Whatever. They're not wrong, though. Like, they're not always wrong.
They're not always wrong.
They're not always
and
wrong on this one.
Shanghai Surprise probably deserves it.
Yeah, it's not great. Well, on a budget of $15 million, the movie only grossed $2.3 million at the box office. And it currently has a 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. It also was not great for Madonna and Sean. They divorced in 1989 after I've written, a rocky relationship. But surprisingly, the two maintain that they are still close. And in 2016, Madonna joke offered to remarry him at a charity auction on the condition that he bid $150,000 for an item. The auction was hosted by Madonna, where they raised more than $7.5 million for the African nation of Malawi. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go. That is nice. Don't marry Sean Penn again
Yeah.
for any reason ever.
No, I don't think they would. I think it's more of a
We're in a good place. So
yeah, in a good place.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
reasonable.
So, but we're hitting 1989, and it's only another bloody banger. Because you get Like a Prayer.
Now, Jared, are we going to talk about what everyone has to talk about when we talk about that song?
Go on.
It might be about sucking
It might be. It could be.
It could be.
When releasing this, she did a big tie-in deal with Pepsi. It would be the lead single off her 4th album, which would the video for Like a Prayer. It features some heavy religious imagery. I know that may surprise you. In the first 5 seconds, there is a burning cross and a black man depicted as Jesus. This caused uproar and led to religious groups threatening to boycott Pepsi and the Vatican condemning the video.
Now, I personally think that's very cool. Madonna as a Catholic, that's not great.
Yeah, it's not the best.
No, that's got to kind of hurt your feelings. But also, you knew what you were doing. I don't know what you expect on that one, honestly.
I don't know what you...
As I mentioned, the song is quite sexually charged.
it is.
And you're doing what I would say are pretty controversial things for the time period.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
It's a little bit like putting a thing on Instagram to get someone's attention and then being annoyed when they message you.
Well, Pepsi cancelled the sponsorship contract and cut all ties with Madonna. However,
she never drank Pepsi again.
She never drank Pepsi again. She only drank pomegranate martinis from then on. However, this did not stop Like a Prayer. It became her seventh #1 single on the top 100.
I'm going to say, while you're listening to the show, every time Jared mentions a Madonna song, just pause the show and listen to the song and then come back, because you'll just have a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. The Like a Prayer album would also include singles Cherish and Express Yourself, which also gets her, because it's been stuck in my head.
You have been
for weeks now
singing it non-stop.
It's so in there. We're hitting 1990. And it doesn't stop because she stars in the pulp action comic book movie Dick Tracy alongside Hollywood movie star Warren Beatty.
Ooh.
And she would also start dating around this time. She would receive very, very positive reviews of her portrayal of Breathless Mahoney. I've not seen Dick Tracy.
No, I haven't either.
But it's like, I think the best thing about it is Madonna.
Oh, okay.
From what I've seen and from what I gather, she has... I'll also say as well, because I'm going to mention his name later, there is a YouTuber, Todd in the Shadows, who has reviewed every single one of Madonna's movies and a lot of her albums. He's been an absolutely fantastic resource for this episode, and I 100% recommend that you go and watch his video reviews of the Madonna movies, because they are great. From what I've seen of Dick Tracy, it's kind of like a bit of a Batman 1989 situation.
Okay, it's very camp.
It's like kind of going for dark and gritty, but also kind of campy, think like Jack Nicholson as the Joker kind of thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
It's got a lot of very famous people in it. Al Pacino's in there, Mandy Patinkin.
Al Pacino will be in anything he gets paid to show up in.
He really chews the scenery in that movie as well, by the looks of things. It's quite
that's kind of fun.
But the movie on a budget of $42 million would gross $163 million. Madonna would receive a Saturn Award for Best Actress. Oh, sorry, she was nominated for Best Actress at the Saturns. She would perform several musical numbers throughout the movie, written by Broadway musical songwriter Stephen Sondheim.
Oh.
And they would feature on the album, and this is the full title, I'm Breathless, music from and inspired by the film Dick Tracy.
Oh my God, it's so succinct and it just rolls off the tongue.
It really does. But this album is notable because it has the singles I'm Breathless, but also it's only got bloody Vogue on there. Now I've just written in my script, gush about Vogue, because
we do this anyway, just in our lives.
Vogue is such... I think it's one of the best pop songs ever written, and I say that completely unironically.
I think it's the Sistine Chapel of a pop song. It's
so clean. It's so and I was saying that I think that the thing about Vogue and the thing about this album as well is that it's songs from Dick Tracy, which is kind of like a pulpy 1930s comic book movie, but the album itself is going for a 1930s Hollywood sort of style. That's what it's going for. So I think that Vogue, when they bring up a bunch of those old Hollywood icons, it's kind of really going for that.
Yeah,
that sort of style. So, and it goes in there, but I think it's just so clean. I think the concept is so good. I think it hits it so well.
It has those synthy strings going all the way through it that if you listen to it on really good headphones, it kind of gives you goosebumps.
Oh, it's so good.
As you have described it many a time, there's not an inch of fat on it.
No, it's like just so clean. But we do have to have the conversation of, is Vogue appropriating gay culture? It's a bit of a complicated question. So voguing did start in gay clubs and performed by, it was mostly done by black gay men and drag queens.
Yes. This is
s-
all ballroom, isn't it? It all falls under the
yeah,
category
all,
of...
yeah, all falls under the category of ballroom. But Madonna was like so in with the LGBT community. Many of her friends and collaborators were gay.
She was in New York in the 70s.
She was in New York in the 70s. She said that she just preferred being around gay men. It's always been her, that she's just always gotten on really, really well with them. And she was also a huge advocate for gay rights and supporter of AIDS causes. She did so many like AIDS benefits. She would have a lot of pamphlets and stuff at performances that she'd have all about AIDS, during like the 80s and stuff. And she knew quite a lot of people who died of AIDS. Her dance teacher, Christopher Flynn, who encouraged her to go to New York, did unfortunately pass away from AIDS.
Oh.
But the other side of the argument is, of course, that voguing was created by black gay men, so it's been appropriated by a white woman appropriating black gay culture. And it's also not helped by the fact that, she doesn't actually vogue in the music video correctly. It's not...
Yes, that was the point I was going to bring up, is that it always kind of gets brought up that it's not really voguing that much, and it's kind of warped what people think it is.
And she also mentions, like I say, a bunch of Hollywood icons, all of whom were, white people.
Yeah.
So people have that criticism of it. And, this is my 2 cents, throw it in there, I think she's going for something different anyway. I think that would be the thing of it, of she's not... voguing not being in the video, I think it's just kind of I think she's going for a very literal interpretation of what Vogue is, as in the fashion magazine.
That's what I always believed it to be.
More so than the act of voguing.
There's certainly an overlap of it. And like you said before, it is a really complicated one that it's kind of your decision to decide where you land on it. But as you said, Madonna is such a part of the gay community and gay culture in general. Like,
I think to say that she sort of appropriated it would imply that she wasn't already part of it. She wasn't already a massive tentpole of that community, which I think she kind of always was and always sort of has been for the most part.
But you very accurately and correctly pointed out it is kind of black gay culture, which is something that many pop artists going forward also stole from and don't properly credit. So it is a big problem in music in general, but it's
she got some criticism at the time for it, and I think looking back, more people have kind of jumped onto that. But I think for the most part, it was kind of accepted. It's a tricky one. It can definitely... I don't think people are incorrect with that.
No, and I think with all of those things, there's never going to be that perfect answer, but it brought a lot more people's attention to a thing that they would have never have heard of before.
Yes, and I'm also going to say that I'm very biased because I love Vogue so much.
I'm sorry. We're both
sorry.
really biased because we both really like that song.
I know as a straight white man, I can't be saying that, but I love it. I think it's one of the best pop songs ever written.
I really enjoy watching people dance to it and kind of do a fruity Macarena. That'll never get boring.
Also in 1990, we get the Blonde Ambition Tour, which led to the documentary film Truth or Dare, came out in 1991.
Which is fantastic.
Yes,
it's really good.
It is really, really good. It drew some criticism at the time because it was questioned how much of this is real, how much is Madonna playing up to the camera. But I mean, that's every documentary ever made. And
yeah, we can't start like pulling apart what is real and what is fake in a documentary because otherwise we don't have a show.
Yes, we don't. It was the highest grossing documentary of all time at $29 million gross.
I want to talk about my favorite thing in that documentary.
Go on.
I want to talk about Madonna's brother because he is like an Always Sunny character. He pops up consistently throughout this documentary with a group of people that he's clearly only recently just met and that he is told that he is related to Madonna and can introduce them to Madonna. He gets stuck in a lift at one point and she's like, I'm going to bed. And all of these people are like, you said you know Madonna. And he's like, I do. His whole life feels like he is constantly trying to convince people that he is related to Madonna, and no one will ever believe him. And he's just in the background throughout the whole documentary. He just like pops up. You forget about him for like 20 minutes at a time. And he's got the thickest like accent on him as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
He's Italian American, that's for sure. My other favorite part of it is, you know, Madonna for the most part, she's kind of like neutral accent. She's not really anything.
Yes.
But then she gets on the phone to her dad and she's like, "Hey, Dad, who's coming? Who's coming to the show?
You said he could come.
You said he could come. What do you mean you inviting him for?
And
Marty, get over here."
Marty, you said you know Madonna. You don't know Madonna.
You don't know Madonna.
That's this whole time of just people bitching him out, going, "You don't know Madonna." It's on YouTube. I really recommend it.
It's such a fascinating,
fantastic, and it's so kind of real at times.
Yeah, it's so interesting to look back at Madonna when she is like the most famous person in the world on a show that is like, you know, genuinely groundbreaking. Like, there's so many interesting bits where she's, you know, gonna get stopped by the police for some of the things that she's doing on stage. And, you know, people like saying about it, and that like that she might get arrested. And, you know, it's really, really just like,
and
it's such a
she's
time
so
capsule.
young as well to
she
be
is.
like dealing with all that, and she's so confident and so just like eyes on the prize in a way that like you have to be to be that level of famous. Like,
Yeah.
nothing is stopping her at any point. Like, she is just so like,
She's laser focused.
yeah, it is incredible. And you will never see anyone look more beautiful in a dressing gown. She's just in a gown in so many scenes, and you're like, to be Madonna.
To be Madonna.
Like, my goodness.
She also stars in A League of Their Own, 1992, a fun sports movie about women playing baseball in the 1940s. I think most people know about A League of Their Own. Yeah, it's fun. It's like the original chick flick that everyone sort of watched.
It's cute.
It is. Her next big move in 1992 was to release a book. It wasn't a memoir. It wasn't an autobiography. It was called Sex. It's a banger, though. It was a book of her having sex and performing BDSM. She sold it for $50 a book.
Hell yeah.
And she sold 1.5 million copies.
Like, would love to get a copy of that for the house.
It's one of the documentaries that I watched. It was the Becoming Madonna documentary. It's on Sky. And it made the claim that it's the most in-demand book for a second like print, because there's only ever been one print of it. I don't know how true that is, because you can find a copy of it online for about 30 quid if you really, really want that.
But that's so bold and so fun.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it's, and like you can have a look at it online. You know, it is on there.
Ooh.
I know. I've looked through it, and it is, you know, it's very, very tastefully done. As tastefully as getting banged by Vanilla Ice can be, I guess.
I always forget about that. I this whole time you were talking, I was like, who is it? Who is it that's in that book?
It did have a lot of critics, though. I mean, it did affect the sales of her album, Erotica. It was the lowest selling album up until that point.
Because the moral outrage must have been like...
Yeah, and she did a few other things here. She did a shocking sort of stunt on David Letterman's show where she handed him a pair of underwear and asked him to smell them. And then we get to my favorite Madonna movie, Body of Evidence, 1993. It's very similar to the year prior's Basic Instinct, 1992. But instead of a sleazy sexual icon like Michael Douglas in Instinct, Body of Evidence has the Green Goblin himself, William Dafoe.
A man whose face never changes. He's always looked like that.
He's not sexy.
He's not sexy
He's
at
like,
all. And he's trying so hard to be sexy. He's such a talented actor. And he cannot be convincingly like sexy in a way that doesn't make you go, ooh.
And rather than Sharon Stone, who is a crime novelist who kills her victims during sex, Madonna kills her victims with sex.
Oh, this is your uncle's favorite movie, kids.
Oh God, it's absolute garbage. It's
it's so bad.
it's so bad, but it's so fun. There's a bit where they have sex on top of a car, but there's like broken glass on the car.
But it's turning them on so much. Oh, it's all this.
Oh, it's so much sex.
It genuinely is the most like rubbing your thigh going, oh, sex with a woman.
It's bad, but it's like bad movie fun. Like I can't help but really enjoy
Grab
it.
yourself a big glass of wine and just watch it, and you will feel so much better.
My favorite line of the movie. she's not just the accused, but the weapon itself.
Oh.
It wasn't that much of a success. On a budget of 30 million, it managed to scrape in 38 million at the box office. Gene Siskel called Body of Evidence stupid and empty thriller that is worse than her softcore coffee table book. Sex.
There's so much like in that film.
It's just, again, it's entertainingly bad. If you want to watch a bad movie, it's one that I would highly recommend.
We could talk about it all day.
Yeah.
And at some point, we might do a Patreon episode on it.
Oh, absolutely. Moving forward, after the sort of like, the very, very like sex heavy period, she kind of softens up a little bit. She realizes that I think she's gone a bit too far.
Mm-hmm.
So 1994, she released her 6th album, which is Bedtime Sorry. It softens her image a little bit. But the big thing that really does kind of put Madonna back into the limelight is Evita, 1996.
Evita.
It's I've written it's certainly a movie.
So for a period of time, I would sit Jared down to watch film musicals that he'd never seen before. And there's nothing like you watching the beginning of Evita.
So, just for the record, this is how Evita begins. They've just announced that she's dead, by the way. It's so much. There's just guitar riffs everywhere. And it's like...
It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's such a mess of a movie.
Your eyes like tripled in size. You had such a like, what is happening?
What is this?
How is this film starting like this? And then it immediately cuts to a scene where we're supposed to believe that Madonna is 50.
Madonna at this point is probably like in her late 30s, early 40s, but they're like, no, she's 40. It's a bit all over the place, but the thing that I, can absolutely say without a doubt is that Madonna is by far the best part in it. Like she
is unbelievable. And I know while she was preparing for it, she was like taking singing lessons for like 5-6 hours a day to really like get it down, because she knew that she wasn't able to be a pop singer for it. She had to be like a classically trained singer. They did lower the score for her.
They did, because
it is originally quite high. She doesn't hit all of the low notes.
Yeah, she can hit the high notes, but she can't really hit the low notes.
If you listen to Don't Cry For Me Argentina, as she tries to say promise, she's struggling a smidge.
But yeah, she's absolutely fabulous in it. Obviously, it was a bit of a controversial one to cast Madonna as Eva Peron. She's very beloved in Argentina. They probably weren't thrilled about the fact that this woman had released a book of her getting banged by Vanilla Ice, like, to play their beloved Eva Peron. But she did do an excellent job. She won a Golden Globe for Best Actress.
Film cannot make its mind up on Eva Peron.
No, it can't. The film really does go back and forth of being like, she was the worst. Oh, she's dead. That's so sad.
Oh, but she really like, did some stuff, but dictatorships. Absolutely gorgeous film. I think it's a really good example of West End show being adapted into a film, which as we know, is not easy to do.
Yeah. People were really upset that she didn't get nominated for an Oscar for that movie. She was...
I can see that, because you can see how much effort's like put into it.
I don't know if it's Madonna's best movie, but it's her best performance. In 1998, she releases her 8th album, Ray of Light, and it's damn good. It's a really, really, really good album. It's also got Ray of Light on it, which is a solid
banger.
It really is. She collaborated with the British producer William Orbit. She was approached and looked to do an album, and this is crazy, with Fatboy Slim.
Whoa!
A Fatboy Slim Madonna album in 1998.
That'd have been pretty fun.
That would have been...
That's something.
But yeah, it was, critically received so well. Slant said it's one of the greatest pop albums of all time, a masterpiece of the 90s. It was honored at the Grammys, including Best Pop Album and Best Dance Recording. She was nominated for Album of the Year by Rolling Stone, and it was listed as one of the 500 greatest albums of all time.
Whoa.
She also, in 1999, recorded Beautiful Stranger.
Banger.
For the movie Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, 1999.
A film that exists.
A film that exists. We tried to rewatch it.
And we had to turn it off. And that says everything you need to know, that we watched all of Body of Evidence, but we turned Austin Powers off.
2000 saw her 9th album, Music. It's got some hits on it. It's got the song Music.
Banger.
Which is a banger. Does also have a cover of American Pie, which is bad.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's not good. So she recorded American Pie for the movie The Next Best Thing, year 2000. The movie which starred her real life best friend, Rupert Everett, as they play two friends, the man's a gay, who end up having a drunken hookup, and she ends up getting pregnant. It wasn't received very well. The album did well, but the critics felt it was more like she was following trends rather than setting them.
Yes.
So...
And we start to see this now as this starts to turn a little bit, don't we?
Yes. And this is where... So, obviously, with the people that we've done in the past, this is the first person that we've got who is still alive, still working, still recording music and stuff. But I've decided that we're going to stop at our next album because it's kind of the last album that really matters in what happens with Madonna. Going forward, she has other successes. She's got Hung Up, fantastic song.
And we'll talk about that a bit more.
Yeah.
But this podcast could be like 5 hours long, and we don't want that.
We don't want that, no. So we get to 2003, and the last album we're going to be talking about, which is American Life. Going back to Todd in the Shadows, who I mentioned earlier, he put it best with, after American Life, you didn't need to have an opinion on the latest Madonna album.
Yeah.
It's the point where it really sort of stops mattering.
It stops being so at the forefront of like trend and culture. There are other things, there are other musicians, other pop stars, other female pop stars at this time who are doing kind of more interesting and more innovative and just more of the time stuff.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Madonna's what your mum listens to. And that's just kind of how that goes.
And listening to the American Life album, it's the first time I listened to it when doing research for this episode. And man, it's hookless. It's a weird electro folk dance pop sort of album.
You've named too many genres for me to have any idea what it could be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so many things wrong with it. The single American Life is just like, it's bad.
Okay.
It's so bad. She raps in it.
No. How old is she at this point? I don't need a mid-40s white lady rapping.
Well, if you don't want that, then I'm sorry, but I've written down, it's the most mid-40s woman rapping rap that you could ever have, okay?
Oh. Oh no.
I'm drinking a soy latte. I get a double shot. It goes right through my body, and you know I'm satisfied. I drive my Mini Cooper, and I'm feeling super duper. They tell me I'm a trooper, and you know I'm satisfied. I do yoga and Pilates, and the room is full of hearties. I'm checking out the bodies, and you know I'm satisfied.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
And the album as well, it comes out in 2003, and it's really posing itself as like an album that is going against the Iraq War, but it never really comes up in anything. Like it's so weird that it's like, the album cover is her like looking like Che Guevara, wearing a beret. It's like done in that sort of style, and the song American Life, it has a music video that depicted like wartime atrocities taking place on like a runway catwalk.
But you talked about having a glass of Chardonnay and going to Pilates. It sounds like an album that Nigella Lawson would have in her car.
And so there's like this big, massive, over-the-top music video, and it never gets released because Madonna says, well, the US had gone to war, so it didn't make much sense showing people war footage. But it really was just because she didn't want the backlash from
people going, what is this?
Yeah, there's so many songs on there that are about her being unfulfilled and feeling empty, but it never really goes anywhere. And again, going back to Todd in the Shadows, he says of this album, Madonna raps about 1 billion empty indulgences she has, but Kanye West links materialism to atrocities happening halfway across the world in the song Diamonds from Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. Madonna is is just too self-centered to think that broadly. There's no one on earth who could lose a bean down to earth contest to Kanye West, but Madonna is one of those elite few.
And that's incredibly damning. However, absolutely accurate by the...
Yeah, it really, really is. The album had no charting singles.
Ooh, that's the first one she ever had that didn't, right?
Except for one. What song charted on that album?
It's my favourite song, Jared.
Sigmund Freud.
Analyze this.
Yeah, it's Die Another Day.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I will fight anyone. This song is fantastic.
So, look, like Bond themes, I think they're so interesting because we have like such an idea in our head of what a Bond theme is.
Yeah.
You've got your
Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, Diamonds Are Forever.
You've got those ones. You've got like
Live and Let. But then like Live and Let Die, like is sort of like not a super traditional Bond theme. I don't think.
No, neither is View to a Kill.
View to a Kill, yeah.
People have done other different Bond themes. Yeah,
and I think, obviously the other thing about Die Another Day is that it's part of an absolute turd of a movie that is no one's favorite Bond film is Die Another Day. It's awful. And
that's the one where he gets a diamond stuck in his face, right?
Yeah, that's where he gets diamonds stuck in his face, and he changes his DNA but doesn't take the diamonds out of his face. It's got like an
so we know who it is.
Yeah, it's like it's got an invisible car. It's like there's like an ice layer. It's awful. Like it's so bad. But I do not think that it
starts with James Bond just being tortured.
It does, but that song's
song's playing, yeah.
That song's playing. But yeah, I think it's at least an interesting attempt at, and like a very 2003 attempt of a Bond theme that sounds different.
I can see the credit sequence in my mind, and it has like
that thermal imaging, and it's all like
and there's
fire
like
and stuff.
DNA just kind of spinning around a little bit. Yeah,
I'll say this: you cannot tell me that "Die Another Day" by Madonna is worse than whatever turd Sam Smith put out for that.
Oh, controversial but true statements.
And also Alicia Keys and Jack White. That one was awful as well.
There's nothing as funny as in the middle of a song just saying Sigmund Freud analyze this. And then your favorite internet post that you found the other day.
She did an AMA on Reddit. Yeah, so she did a Q&A on Reddit And the question was, in Die Another Day, love this song, brackets. You say, Sigmund Freud, analyze this. Can you explain you like his work, question mark? Actually, I'm not a big fan of Sigmund Freud. It was meant to be ironic because I don't think everything can be analyzed. I think he was just too cerebral and a misogynist. I'm a fan of Carl Jung. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we end our episode on Madonna. Obviously, she does go forward and keeps, like I say, she keeps making good stuff. You know, she was iconic for 3 decades pretty much. And then, like, sort of the 2010s hits, and it really is like a sort of slow down.
And like 3 decades of success, like consistent pop success, is nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah,
because
you
some
know.
people only get like one song.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like success; it was kind of like completely changing how the music was made.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in the mid '80s and stuff, she's really part of that MTV generation. You know,
Yeah.
completely changed. And everyone's saying to her like, "Oh, you want to be like Blondie?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to be like Blondie. I want to be like Madonna. I don't want to be, you know, someone else. I want to be Madonna." And like that's.
And no one is as good at being Madonna as Madonna.
So yeah, I think, you know, the bulk of her iconic status comes from between, you know, 1983 and 2003. Like that is the 20-year span.
And she still, like you said, we talk about Hung Up and stuff like that. She still consistently shows up and drops a song that you go like, oh wow, that's really good. Like that video is incredible. She is a woman in her 50s dancing like that.
Yeah.
Like that's so impressive. When I fell over just walking out my house the other day, like,
do you remember in 2016 when she was at the Brit Awards and she got dragged backwards off stage by her cape and fell down the stairs?
I do.
And she just got back up and performed like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like
she is such a professional.
Yeah.
In that term of like performer of like, the building could be burning down and she is like not missing it.
No, she's absolutely not. And yeah, it's crazy really to think of how much she changed pop music and like how it is now. The Becoming Madonna documentary really makes a point of being like, well, you know, if it wasn't for Madonna, we wouldn't have like female artists in the same way that we do now. And I think that's absolutely true. Like,
Yeah.
I think she really did kind of kick down the door for a lot of people who came afterwards. So I guess the question is Madonna an icon?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if only for the fact that all of our mums have at some point gone, well, you're not bloody Madonna. you know, like, what's more iconic than that?
Yeah.
People still know who she is. Like,
Yeah.
all of those songs still sound so fresh
Yeah.
and so, like, so good. Like, I don't have a better word for it.
Yeah, and I think the thing is of like Madonna going forward after this sort of time period is that she really does kind of try and recapture a lot of that like magic that she had the first time around. And I think that's why people are a bit like, you know, a bit down on Madonna now as opposed to where they were before.
I think it's a very human instinct to want to keep reclaiming kind of your successes. I think all of us are going to just wait for when we do this episode again in 15 years' time.
It's true. So what would your lesson be from Madonna?
So I don't have a funny one this time. I don't even have a joke. It's like, just like eyes on the prize, work for it. Like if you want it, like go do it because it is possible. You have to be ruthless.
She's definitely ruthless. She definitely, like, you know, she is hard on the people around her. We watched the Truth or Dare documentary and you can see a lot of that.
You know, she is a perfectionist. And
she really
if you're
is.
not meeting that standard, then you need to go.
Yep.
But it gets results, I think, in some of those circumstances. Like, you have to be that way to become that successful.
And I think the other thing as well about the last album that she did that we talked about, the American Life album, is that there is absolutely no hooks, there is no joy, there is no anything on that album. She's so down on herself in that album. It's really her looking back and thinking about being like, I made it to the top and I'm unfulfilled. And Madonna has always been about the joys of life. She's always been about the pleasures of life. You know, like sometimes to the most extreme end of that.
Yeah.
But she's always been about, the good and the joy and the fun and the like just being yourself and expressing yourself. And I think Madonna has really that is her legacy going forward, is that she was always herself. She
so unashamedly herself.
And I think that is something to be so commended by, and the one time that she really goes against that is like the time that it
really backfires
on her.
I think that's,
and I think that would be my lesson, is just to be yourself, have fun.
Well, that's a very, very nice lead into our next episode, because someone was so much themselves, the law had to get involved.
Thank you very much for listening. Please leave us a comment, a 5-star review on whatever your podcast platform is of choice.
If you like this, send it to a friend. If you didn't like it, send it to 2 people.
Yeah, send it to 2 people you don't like, because maybe they've got better taste than you.
Exactly. But thank you so much, Jared. I think you've done an amazing job here. This was genuinely so interesting.
Yeah.
I will take any excuse to talk about Evita.
Yep.
Drive home safe, y'all.
Drive home safe.